outside the shores of the country. But as someone who loves to watch things and read, I think most of the countries that have developed have done so on the back of industrialization. I think the basics of any economy is an economy that is able to provide or produce what they consume. I think that's the fundamental thing. Add value to and produce what you consume. And you see, when the government said they will do the move the economy from the taxation to production, I have always believed in industrialization. That's why I'm a fan of a champion and all that. So I believed in that. But I think it's the how it was done. Later we were told that, so when you go to the 1D 1F website, we are told that they are doing about 232 projects. 76 of them are new. 76 of them are companies. 28 of them are new factories, that is greenfields. 48 of them were existing factories or brownfields, meaning that they were given those cushion and support from government. Now, Dave, later we were told that it's not government that is leading the 1D 1F, but it's rather the private sector. And government is giving them financial handout, tax waivers, and all support, that. Yeah. Good thing, because of our history that we've not been able to run the SOS, the state interests that government have in its institution. And David, as someone who frequently reads the SIGA report, SIGA is the state interest and governance. Oh, I've forgotten now. Check from SIGA, the one headed by John Boedu now. When we read their reports, recently we heard that of the STC. So I think that the government thinking was that because of our history with state enterprises, let's rather let the private sector champion it.
State interests and governance authority.
Authority, yes. So they are in charge of all Ghana's state agencies, and the one the government has interest in it, including the private and Ghana government have significant state interest in. And you see that hardly do you see Ghanaian SOS making profit. In fact, we've recorded losses for 4 consecutive times. The last time I checked. Now, Dave, we also record what you call trade surplus under this government, and that's one of the things they tout that we record trade surplus. In fact, when you even look at the first quarter of 2024, we recorded the trade surplus of 11.5 billion, right? But Dave, when you go into the detail beyond, Ghana has recorded the trade surplus, meaning that but you realize that it's still the traditional things. Gold, because the price on the world market has gone up. You go in there, you see that it's still the traditional thing. So for example, for example, the top 5 export products that help us record the truth: gold, crude oil, cocoa beans, cashew nuts, cocoa paste, which accounted for 82.6% of all exports. That's why I say that data, don't pick it hook, line, sinker. We call it trade surplus. What will lead to that is the 5 traditional things: crude oil, gold, cocoa beans, cashew nuts, cocoa paste. The 1D 1F, the things they are producing that we see when the president go around, the tomato paste, the tea rolls, the drinks. For me, the first time I consumed a coffee juice, remember, I was angry. You don't find it.
Yeah, it's not anywhere on the market.
You don't find it.
And it's so delicious.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
So that's why I always use the English, the dividend. The 1D 1F in the last 6 years, if you are doing the budgetary allocation, you will not do less than 2 to 3 billion cedis. Right? How has that contributed to increase these things? Because if you are still doing almost 85% of your trade surplus, and these prices always fluctuate on the market or deflate, depending on the times, it means that there's something wrong with how we are targeting the industrialization.
So let me ask this question, because indeed when they said we're going to move from taxation to production, there were areas that they mentioned as to how they would do away with the taxation, what they would introduce to, also still make some revenue. And indeed, at one point in time, I think it was in 2017 thereabout, they did away with some taxes. First of all, can you tell us some of the taxes they did away with?
Oh, yeah. So when the president came, remember in 2017, when they were on the momentum, they did abolish some taxes, and that is not in doubt. So the MPP abolished they said 17 taxes, it's not 17. They abolished the 15% on VAT on NHRL. They abolished the income tax. That is 1% income tax on mutual food and unit trust schemes, 25% income tax on real estate trust, 5% income tax on the commission of lotto agents and all that. Then they abolished the They scrapped the 1% special import levy, the cost abolished excise duty on petroleum, duty on the importation of spare parts, levies imposed by KIAs by local authorities. That thing was nonsensical. I don't even know why the Myanmar regime thought of doing that thing. Tax on the gains from realization of securities listed by the Securities and Exchange Ghana Stock Exchange. Sorry, so these were the 10. They were not
17.
They were not 17. Now they want to look at the juxtapose the taxes the government has and what they call nuisance. They introduced COVID levy after they gave her the free water. And
so now you want to talk about the ones that they introduced?
Yes, they told us we have to pay for it. So they introduced COVID levy in 2021. They introduced the electronic e-levy, the 2022, 5% financial sector cleanup, 2021. They introduced that. Then they did the energy sector cleanup levy 2021, which is 20%. 20 pesos on every liter of diesel and petrol. Sanitation and pollution levy. Ghana is one of the fewest countries in Africa. That is also 10%, 10 pesos on every liter of petrol and diesel you buy. Growth and sustainability levy, which was introduced on the 31st of March 2023, and it was expected to raise some 4 billion annually for them. Then there's the Excise Duty Amendment Act, which was also done, and it was put on spirits, cigars, wines, and
cigarettes. You mean cigarettes,
cigarettes, and sparkling wines and all that. Then the African Union Import Levy, which was introduced in 2017. When you pick, if you walk with Yika or port recently, if you've gone to the port, you see that tax there.
And a lot of people have gone onto social media complaining about a number of duties and taxes they have to pay on, one car that they've brought in that they want to clear at the port. Let's move on to 2017.
Yeah, so these are some of the taxes that they brought upstream. So they clearly tells you that
plus the almighty e-levy, huh?
Yes, I mentioned the electronic levy. The electronic levy is not popular. The e-levy is popular. So these are some of the
because of the argument is generated, even though in Parliament and amongst Ghanaians and all
yesterday
that.
I was making the argument that for the Vice President to go to the UPS auditorium and say he will depart from this tells you that the government didn't think through it. And the sponsored campaigns that they were doing, John Kuma, and we are a proud nation, we will not go to the IMF, they were all waste of money, and these things should even be charged, causing financial loss to us. Because we did town hall meetings, going to the region to tell us we are self-sufficient country, sustainability and all that. In 3 weeks, we went to the IMF. And they told us the e-levy is coming to do that. The e-levy is taxation. I didn't even add bet. Betting tax is taxation. COVID levy is taxation.
And now they want to tax online
businesses. YouTube and everything. You see the link I said? It's taxation. So, every way that the Ghanaian is trying to survive, Dave, now the youth are surviving on betting and YouTube. You may preach the morality lessons you want to preach, but some of them, that is the only way out.
And there are people who would argue and say, for example, that because of the betting that is ongoing, where they make some small money, it has reduced a bit of crime in some localities and communities. I'm saying, like I said, we sat down somewhere, we talked about some of the things that the youth are into right now. So